Hey everybody, it is Liz with Liz Art Finds, and today we are here with another haul video. So welcome everybody. This is haul number 21 for those keeping count, and I want to welcome all of our new subscribers. I'm so glad that you are here. So first I'm going to go through what I sold this week. We had another good week of sales. The bird has not sold yet, but that is because I haven't finished the listing. I do have some people interested, so I will be able to report on that next week. So this week we sold a watercolor, pen and ink watercolor, pen and ink drawing watercolor overwash. I believe I paid like $4.99-ish for this. I sold it for $29. I sold a owl plate. I paid $1.99 for that. It sold for $9.99. It was the best offer that I accepted. I sold this Fenton hobnail set, vanity set. I had purchased it a while back for $5.98. It sold for $39.99 for the set. I sold the cribbage board that I got a few videos ago. I had paid $1.99 for this vintage cribbage board, and it sold to an international buyer for $49.99 plus shipping and tax and all the things. I have this stoneware mug that I picked up for 99 cents. It's a big soup mug. It sold for $18. And then I sold a Winnie the Pooh mug. It's also vintage. I'd had this for a while. I had paid $1.99. It sold for $14.99. And I finally sold my Winnie the Pooh lamp. It ended up printing really big. I originally paid $7.99 for this. It is vintage. It went for $39.99. I did not add all of that up yet. I will have it on my Facebook group, the totals of what sold, probably sometime later today. All right, so let's get into this week. So I have some things. I have some good things. I don't have a Catherine Holm bowl or a Batosi bird, but you know, we got some things. So let's just start at the beginning. So, and then some cautionary tales, which occasionally we need to do here. So I was so excited about the shape of this piece. This is a Pyrex Lemonade orange juice carafe. It is from I had written it down, I don't have it here. But it's old, from the 60s or 70s, I believe. I'm not 100% sure. It says Pyrex on the bottom. I love that angled shape. I just thought it was the coolest thing. Did not do all my research in the store. It's missing a stopper. So I paid $3.99 for this. There's a lid that goes on the top that keeps the air out and the bugs out. So when you're sitting out at a, picnic outside and you're eating outdoors, the bugs don't get into your lemonade. So I'm hopeful that it will still sell to someone who broke theirs but still has their stopper. So these with the lid sell for $28 to $35. Without the lid, excuse me, they sell $15 to $18. So when you're out there and you're doing your thrifting, definitely use your Google Lens, take the picture and look for what it's supposed to be. And you'll realize if it's missing any pieces and parts. That is, I think, the second or third time I've made that mistake. And it's just trying to be too fast and not take the time needed to look things up. So definitely look things up. The other thing I picked up, this is for me. I picked up a package of Canon photo paper for 99 cents. I use this stuff around the holiday time when I'm doing test runs for the calendar that I do every year for my family. So anyway, these normally sell for like $13 to $17 for a package this big, and I got it for 99 cents. So that is a personal use item that I picked up. I'm not counting it in my haul numbers, but I did want to share. Okay, next thing I picked up. This is weird. I didn't know what it was. Okay, it's this thing. Okay, so it's like a baseball glove. Put your hand in there. Okay, apparently this is an infield training glove. It doesn't close around the ball. So it's supposed to help people when they're learning to get really good at baseball and softball. When the ball comes to them, they use the glove to stop it, and then they immediately turn it around and throw it. It's supposed to decrease the reaction time and improve the hand-eye coordination and the process of catching a ball and then getting it where it needs to go. So it's an infield training glove. They sell new for $29.99. They are selling on eBay for $18 to $20. And this one was $3.99. So I picked it up because the sell-through rate looked pretty good on these. This is in really, really good condition. It hardly looks used at all. So even though it's not vintage, it was a pickup for me. So I picked that up, and then, hang on, I picked up this really cool, what looks like recycled glass, either votive holder or glass, for 24 cents. Unfortunately, when I got it home into the light box, I found a crack, and I think it's an annealment crack because this is very, very, very heavy glass. It's not signed, it's not marked, but there is like a thin hairline crack, and I can't feel it on the inside. I can't feel it on the outside, so I think it had to do with when the glass cooled. But I wouldn't use this as a drinking glass. And if I was going to use it as a votive holder, I would use it for a battery, one of those little cute little tea light battery things. I would disclose the crack, so I'm not sure yet about selling. But again, I paid 25 cents for it. If I sold it, I would probably do in a live sale, and it would probably be like $3 to $5. I don't think this would command a ton of money because of that crack. Which I didn't see in the store. You know, it wasn't obvious until I got it under the light box, and then I noticed it. All right, let us move on. So the next place I went, this was, let's see, I went out 3 times, but to a few different stores. The next place that I went, I actually found a couple of good things. Well, one really good thing. I'm going to show you the not so good thing first. So I found this Mermaid on a Rock, and this I think says Copenhagen. I could be wrong, but that's what I think it says. It's a nude mermaid on a rock. It's a souvenir piece. They are apparently a dime a dozen, or at least a lot on eBay, but they're also a lot sold. I picked this up for, she was $3.99, which is probably too much. I thought because of the copper that it would be a good buy. But the solds on these are all over the place. I'm seeing solds, I'm going to read the numbers here. There was an 8, there was a 10, there was a 15, there was a 22, there was a 49. But that one was a best offer, so I don't know what it actually sold for. So I think somewhere in the 10 to 18 range is probably reasonable. I'd probably list it around 12. So not a huge profit on that one, but still, you know, a few dollars. So anyway, I got that. But then, this is one of my good pieces for the week. This is a Limoges trinket box. Okay. So it doesn't have any markings inside, but on the base, it has 2 Limoges stamps. Now, apparently they do one stamp like under the glaze, or before they glaze it, and then they do another stamp on top of the glaze. The manufacturer does that. And there's a lot of ways to authenticate Limoges, and there are catalogs online of the different marks. So Limoges is actually an area in France, and they are known for a special kind of clay in the area. It's a kaolin clay in the area, and a lot of different factories kind of popped up in the Limoges area to take advantage of this. And it makes like a hard paste porcelain that fires at a very, very high temperature in the kiln, and it makes a very smooth, lustrous porcelain. And the porcelain was hand painted, and it was kind of, they put gold on it and whatnot. So this one has a lot of gold, which is really cool. And it is hand painted, so it's not decals or transfers. From what I understand. I could be 100% wrong on this, but anyway, it's a really, really pretty trinket box. So Limoges, I wrote down some stuff on Limoges. Limoges porcelain. So I think I said a lot of this stuff, but it says, they also make decorative objects. But anyway, the kaolin clay, small production porcelain factories opened in the surrounding areas around Limoges, It was the arrival of King Louis the 14th of France in 1781, who purchased one of the local factories in order to make porcelain for his court, that really kind of boosted the renown of this porcelain around the world. And then I think the US also had a factory specifically that made stuff for US dignitaries and whatnot. So even to this day, Limoges is still being produced. The styles are a little bit different. This one is an older one, not like 1700s old, but like I think the factory that made this, because you can tell from the mark what factory made it. And this factory was called Manufacture Nouvelle de Porcelaine, and this is their mark here. They started in, I think, 1957, sometime in the late 50s. So this is sometime in the mid-century, 50s to 70s, I would say, that this was made. It's in really excellent condition. I did not clean the gold because they say that the patina on the gold is important, I guess, for this particular type of piece. So anyway, I paid $1.99 for my little Limoges trinket box, and they sell this size, this condition, around $35 to $55. Okay, so if you see these, you know, you definitely want to pick them up. There supposedly is some counterfeiting of Limoges, and those would be more like bright neon-y kind of colors, like really vibrant, things that you wouldn't expect to see in like an antique or vintage type piece. And also your marks, you know, you may want to look through the Limoges marks online and just kind of get familiar with what some of the marks might look like. So anyway, that is Limoges trinket box. Okay, the next place I went a couple days later, I got two things. I got this Alaska tile, and I'm not sure that this is going to be much of anything because I can't see any on the secondary market. This is made in Alaska. The gentleman that makes it is Edwin Mighell, M-I-G-H-E-L-L. It's stamped on the back with a lot of different marks. But it's from Alaska, and he's got a series of 4-inch tiles. This is 4-inch. He's got 4-inch, 6-inch, and 12-inch tiles, I think. Anyhow, these guys, the 4-inch tiles, sell new for $45 each. Okay, and this is in perfect condition. There's no chipping anywhere on it, and it's a polar bear on an iceberg. These lines, these arrows and whatnot that are painted red within the critter are very typical of his work. So you'll see that on a lot of his pieces. So I don't know. I mean, I do see tiles sold from other makers from Alaska that are probably $12 to $18. That may be reasonable for this. This is retired. Like his current polar bear is just a polar bear on a tan background. It's not a polar bear on a iceberg. So this particular one is not being made anymore. So, you know, we'll see what happens with that. I just really liked it, and it was only 99 cents, so I picked him up. Okay. The next one was kind of a really good pickup. I found this collection of ornaments made in the Czech Republic that are meant to look like marzipan fruit. So it's plums and strawberries and pears and peaches and all the things, right? It's really hard to see in here. But these are definitely vintage. They're packaged, each one is packaged like as if it were fruit in a little piece of paper. They have a little hang tag. This is made in Czech Republic. And they have their little hanging cord and whatnot. And they're still in excellent, excellent condition. And many of these, I found them on WorthPoint from 2022. A whole bunch of them sold, and they all sold in the $30 to $35 range. So I paid $3.99. Can easily expect to get 32 for those. And I will probably hold them to a little closer to Christmas. But I think that was a really good pickup. None listed right now. And like I said, there were a bunch sold a couple of years ago. So excited about that one. I went yesterday to a few places. I picked up this Pottery Jug with cork. And if any of you know what these were used for, whether it's maple syrup or something else, could you let me know? It is artist signed. I'm not sure yet which way to hold this. I'm going to run this. I'm going to ask in a pottery group who the artist is. It's got the cork attached with this leather cord. Doesn't look like it's had a ton of use. It's a really pretty piece. So that guy was $3.99 and I picked him up. I'm not sure yet on this because I don't know who the artist is. If it's just a artist that is not that famous, it would be probably around $18 to $24 on this. If it is a famous artist, that could go up. So I just need to get a little more information, which I haven't had time to do because I just got this yesterday. And then the other thing I found there, which was kind of a mistake, I picked up this Northwood tidbit tray, which had it not had a little chip on it, he'd be great. It's actually in decent condition. The gold is still visible here and the gold around the rim. And, you know, it's actually a nice little tidbit tray. It was filthy when I picked it up. And by the time, like when I got it home and I cleaned it, there is a little chip that I found right here that wasn't obvious through all the dirt. And then there's a little inclusion. There's a little dark spot right there where I looked at it under the loupe and it's actually like a piece of dust or something got into the glass when the glass was cooling. So you can't feel it really. It's kind of sunk down into the glass, but it is like a little inclusion. So it's an imperfection. So I don't think this has a ton of resale value, to be honest. I paid $2.99 for it. If it had no chip, they're probably $15 to $18. So I don't think it'll be more than $10 on that, if that. So I'm not sure yet. That may end up being a yard sale piece. I'm not sure yet what's going to happen with that one. All right, so next, I went to the place that I liked the best. I was up in Maryland yesterday, and I went to my favorite little thrift store. And I picked up a few things that I'm kind of excited about. I'm going to start with the one I'm most excited about, actually, or semi-most excited about. I got a Culver glass. I love picking up Culver. So this actually says, you'll see it here, Culver. I don't know if it's going to focus. This is a Christmas one, obviously, super colorful. It's got all its lights. I mean, it's got all its colors, not faded anywhere, truly looks brand new. There's no spots on the frostedness that are worn off or anything. It's just in really, really good condition. So the Culver glasses typically fetch around 10 to 12 a piece. Actually, I wrote down 10 to 15, depending on the actual piece. What's exciting about this one is right now, there's none listed on eBay. I don't know if I'm going to list it now. I probably should wait till closer to Christmas to get a little more money on it. But it's just so pretty. So anyway, I love picking these up when I find them. I like it better when there's two of them. But this one was just too pretty to leave on the shelf. And I only paid $1.99 for this. And like I said, I'll get 15, 10, 15. For this one, probably 15 or $14.99 or something like that. So we'll see. I picked up a pendant light. So this is a gorgeous, I don't know if you're gonna be able to see it. This is a hand-blown, beautiful pendant light. It is signed at the top. It says made by Tamar. You may not be able to see that. Probably can't see it. Right around the opening here, it says made by Tamar 2013. I looked it up. I cannot find a Tamar. I may ask in a glass group if anybody is familiar with this artist, but it is just a really, really pretty piece, right? If it was had a full bottom, I mean, that would be just a gorgeous vase. Right, so it's a very, very beautiful pendant light. I paid $4.99 for it. I've seen them anywhere online, different styles, but the art glass pendant lights, 25 to 80 plus. There are some over 100. I think 40 to 45 is reasonable, at least to list this at. It might end up selling a little lower because there's only one of them. But just really, really pretty. I couldn't leave it. It was beautiful glass. It was signed. It's the kind of thing I would keep for myself. But I'm not going to. So the other one I found that I am going to keep for myself, there's this bowl, and it is 2225th, and it's the mod pattern. What's interesting about this one, 2225th, I believe comes out of Indonesia. It's a China manufacturer. I love this pattern. It is so mid-century modern. It is so 1970s to me. And I love color, as you guys probably know. So I don't know, I'm very, very tempted to keep this. But what's interesting is none of these exist on the internet, not on WorthPoint, not on replacements, not on eBay, nowhere. If you put in mod, because that is the pattern, right? Mod, nothing. So that's really interesting. It intrigues me. I'm curious if someone who has this pattern is desperately seeking a bowl and just can't find one anywhere, right? So the 2225th, their other stuff sells about $10 to $12 per bowl on the resale market. I paid $2.99 for it just because I thought it was the coolest thing that I've seen in a long time. Just design-wise, like if there were a whole set of these, I probably would have bought them for me. They're just so cool. So I don't know yet what I'm doing with this, but I did pick it up because I thought it was really cool. Okay, then I picked up a Seder plate. So in the Jewish tradition, we have the holiday of Passover coming up. And during Passover, which usually falls right around Easter time, because the Last Supper was actually a Passover Seder, I think. Anyway, Passover and Easter usually come together, but every 4 years, the Jewish calendar uses a lunar calendar. And every 4 years, they add a month. So just like we have a leap year here in the States, we have an extra day on the calendar in February. They add a whole extra month. And so this year, Easter was at the end of March, but Passover is at the end of April. So it's coming up. And this is a Seder plate. So it's a traditional meal where you eat certain traditional foods that remind you of certain historical things. It just sits in the center of the table. And then, you know, before the meal, there's a little kind of a service where you kind of talk about all the things and what they stand for. So anyway, it's a beautiful fused glass Seder plate. And I just thought it was so pretty because I have been picking up the fused glass. This seems to be painted between the layers. It doesn't seem to be like a powder. It seems to be a couple layers of glass with painting on the bottom layer and then the other piece of glass over the top is what it seems to be to me. But yeah, it's in really excellent condition, and it's got the gold shiny paint. I don't think it's that old, but I don't know what the date on it might be. I mean, I would guess 80s, 90s. I just don't know. It could be older. I need to get more information on it. Just found that yesterday. All right, now we're to our last couple things. The very last place I went yesterday, I got this, and I need help. I need y'all's help. I think originally I was like, well, maybe it's a business card holder, because if it were lower in the front, it would be a business card holder. It is that shape. What's interesting or odd, the center's mirrored. I don't know if you can see that, but the center has a mirror in it, the bottom. The sticker has come off the bottom, so I don't know where this came from. It's got candles on the front. I guess it could be a votive holder, but the shape is rectangular, not square. So I am extremely curious, because it does have candles, which leads me to believe maybe it's a candle holder. It also could be for some sort of brochures, maybe? Because business cards, you'd have to like dig your hand in to grab one. So maybe some sort of small like cards, like postcards to, I don't know. I really have no idea what it would be for. Maybe for envelopes. but it doesn't make sense it would have a candle. So, okay, you guys, I know you know more than I do. Tell me what this is and what it's used for. But I picked it up. It's stained glass, leaded glass. It's pretty. Actually, you know what? It might be plastic. Interesting. I'm not sure. This may be newer than I thought it was. I'm truly not sure what this is. I paid $1.99 for it. You tell me if that was good or if that wasn't good. Things that are similar are listing around 12 to 15. So there was that. And then the very last thing I wanted to talk to you guys about, and I've actually got 5 minutes left. So I'm going through the racks. I got some clothing, one piece of clothing. Going through the racks. Check out that label. It is old, okay? And it has it's legit. It has the Prada here as well. I believe it was 1968. That's not right. I don't remember. I had written it down, and of course, it didn't print out. This is the Prada Nero Piqué Polo, and it is vintage, okay? The size on it is no longer visible, like it's kind of worn off. But the interesting thing about this, it's very wide, okay? But it's very short. And it was in the women's department. If you look this up online, this is a men's shirt. These sold originally for $195. I saw one online that had an original tag. There is someone online trying to sell a used one for $192, but most of the listings are $99 or below. The solds, there's a white version and a red version. The solds are between like 30 and 55, I think. Let's see, yeah, 30. And so I wrote down 30 to 55. 30 to 35 actually is reasonable. However, this guy, somebody shrunk him really, really badly because it's very wide and very short, like very short. And it was, like I said, listed in the store as a crop top, which it's not. So I spent some time online yesterday and today researching how to unshrink a shirt. And I haven't done that yet with this, but I think what I'm going to do is try it. I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. And then next week, we'll take a look and we'll see if it was successful and if this is actually in saleable condition. Because right now, I don't think this is saleable because it is very wide and very short. And on a guy, it would probably come up above his belly button. So we're going to see if we can turn this back into a normal shirt so we can sell it. So what the internet and YouTube videos are telling me to do is to get a tub of warm water and add some hair conditioner, okay? And kind of squish it through and let it sit for 30 minutes. And what that conditioner is doing is relaxing the fibers and allowing them to become like more fluid. So then it said to rinse it. So you rinse out the conditioner and you lay it down on a towel and you roll it up in the towel to remove the excess moisture. And then you just stretch. You just pull that baby back into place. And what they say in all the videos is once you do that once, it will remember and it will stay like that through subsequent washings. So if you sell it, you will not have to, they will not have to go, you know, they won't like go, oh my gosh, I got this great shirt, I threw it in the wash and now it's a half shirt. It shouldn't do that. It should keep its actual shape. So what I think I'm gonna do is once I do all of this, I will wash it and make sure that it holds the, I'm keeping my fingers crossed that it works and that it holds the new shape. So anyway, I think the Prada was probably my most exciting find because of the name. I've never owned anything Prada. I didn't know if it was legit, but apparently it is. I paid $6.49 for the Prada shirt. And like I said, I'll probably just get 35 on it, but that's still good. So yeah, so my total spend for the week was a little high this week. It was $54.60. That does not include the 99 cents for my Canon photo paper. So $54.60. And if I were to sell all the things, the total would be somewhere between $305 and $325, and that is on the conservative side. I estimated all my sales numbers on the low side to what I think they can get. So that is all this week, guys. Not as exciting as some of the past few weeks, but it was still a solid week, right? And you're going to have all kinds of weeks. You're not going to hit the jackpot every time you go out. It's just a matter of finding the things that people want and get them out there. So, all right. Well, that is our time for today. Have a fabulous week, everybody, and I will see you next week. Bye.